Hello, hello. Just a second here. I'm gonna get a good angle there. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Trisha Chuba with ButterDish Designs, and this is Crafty Hour, episode 132. We're going to do a fun fold tonight that is masculine-inspired card. It's a lot of fun. It looks a little challenging, but once you do one, you'll be like, oh, okay, it's pretty easy. So just give a second here for everybody to get on, and then I'll get going. So. While we're waiting, I will go ahead and get my stamps ready to stamp with. So, hi, Tony. Hopefully that's not too echoey. I think that I can mute one side or the other here. Hang on. There. That should be a little better. Gotta mute one and show one. Oh, and an envelope. Definitely need an envelope too. Okay, so this evening, I'm going to be making a burst out fun fold card here. That's simple. These ones. And I will show you about it here in just a second. Let me grab that other color ink. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, and I'll show you the sample, and then I want you to vote just a little bit. Okay, so here's the sample. Go down there. And it does fit in our standard medium-sized envelope, so which is great, you know. And sorry about that, get the bigger one there. And so you pull it out, and then it goes like so, like this. So that's how it looks on the back. I want to call it the back, but this is how it goes. And then this is the part that you write on right here. And you can lay it flat to do so. You can mail it a couple different ways. I mean, you could legit just fold this in half, just like you would normally. But when they pull it out, it's kind of boring. So I think folding it this way, and when they pull it out, it goes this way, I like it better. So yeah. So this is what we're making this evening. And so I used half of the sheet of paper, which the bottom portion of this I use for the envelope. So you can see that's the whole side there. Now I cut this in half. Here's the other part. And this part is what I used for the card for this one. This evening, I want to have you just pick and oops, we're going to change it up just a little bit with a different color. So this is the half of the sheet that we're using, and I want to know whether we want the background to be Lost Lagoon or Old Olive. So both colors go with it really well. You can see the drastic change. This side I use Secret Sea, but this side we're going to use one of these two, so we can see what it looks like on a different color. So what do you think, Coney? Which side do you like? Move that down so it doesn't, it's so bright on here. There you go. Well, it's still bright. Oop, change of colors. Anyways, now let's see here. I've got that, which is going to pick up just that little bit of there. We've got our two inside pieces. And all right, all of it is. I'm going to go with Old Olive for this. Great. Okay, this is harder than it looks, like I said. Here it is. This is what we're going to use to make it. And I will show you a little template I made after we get going here. Okay. I'm going to try my best to keep this in screen, but it may not work. Let's move that out a little bit there to get more. So we're starting off here with 8.5 by 5.5. And on the 5.5 side, you are going to go ahead and score that at 1 1/4. And lightly. So just ever so lightly. I'm not really pushing. I'm just making sure I get it in there. I know you can't see this really well, so I'll show you the template here. And then the next one is a 4 1/4. And again, with these particular score lines, we are going lightly. Then you're going to turn it on to the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score it in half at 4 1/4. And this one, just do your normal pressure lever. So, which unfortunately it's hard to see. We've got it in half. Here's one, here's the other. Okay. Now, again on the 8.5 inch side, we are going to score from this light line to this light line. And we are going to do this at 1 3/4. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? But 1 3/4, and we're going up to this score line up here. You can tell where I'm at by this. If you go a little bit over, it's not a big deal. And then we're going to move that over and do 2 1/4. And we're going to do that same thing again. Just trying to see there where I've got it. And again, it's hard to show you, but I promise when you do one, you'll be good to go. Okay. The paper's gorgeous, isn't it? Okay, so again, we've got our 1 1/4, 4 1/4, very light, 8.5 side, 4 1/4 in the middle. From that side, you're going to do the 1 3/4, 2 3/4, And that's just in between those two light lines. We are going to flip it around here and do the same thing on the other side. So 1 3/4 from that light score line to that one. And then we're going to move that over and do our 2 1/4, the same as the other side. Use your line here. All right. Now, let me show you this on this here. Yes, it is a good color. Okay. Just like I said, 5 1/2 inch side, score lightly at 1 1/4, 4 1/4, 8 1/2, score in half here. And now what we're going to do, we did this 1 3/4 and 2 1/4. I almost wrote 2 3/4, so, and flipped it 1 3/4, 2 1/4. And now what you're going to do is move that scoring tool out of the way there. And we're going to that light score line. And we are going to cut up to here. We are going to pick up our blade. We're going to go to that next mark there. And we are going all the way up to this one. We're going to pick that up again. And it's hard for me to do at this angle, so bear with me. I did pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to flip that over here and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So up to there, we're going to skip, go back down. We're going over to here. We're going to skip. Oops. Go back down. And I know I'm a little far out on that, so I'm going to come back. You could always put it with your striver. So you got that? So it's cut to that first score line, skip, cut, got all those, just like so. And then skip and then cut. All right. So let's go ahead and you'll need a sheet of 6 by 6 to do this. And I'm trying to see here how I want to cut this first. I'm trying to see which color I want to use on here because as you can see here on this, I kind of did the same there. I did these. So this is the one where I'm like, I might want that to go a little bit in order. So those pieces there are 2 3/4. So I am going to go ahead and bear with me here. I have to think about where I want to cut this paper. I'm like, it's so pretty, but I wanted to cut it the right way. You guys will never believe this too. Fig is asleep during crafty hour. She's not doing her job. But we're going to be quiet because maybe she knows we're really concentrating hard tonight. Okay, so I need pieces that are 4 inches here. Just cutting it by 6 inches. So there we go. Just that took that out of the equation. Now I need to cut these into 6 1-inch strips. So easy peasy. You decide which side you want to go on. You can keep them in order. You cannot keep them in order. If you have directional paper, you're going to want to think about that just a little smidge. 2. And There we go. So 6 pieces that measure 4 inches by 1 inch. Set those off to the side. Now this is what we have left. And what I need to do is I need to go ahead and cut this down to, I need 2 3/4. And actually, I'm going to cut the blue side first. 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 here again. And then these pieces need to be, and you're going to see how little you have left, okay? 1 3/4. Yes. I think I cut this wrong somewhere. We're going to say, hi, Stay. We're like, hey. 1 3/4 is correct. I'm supposed to have a piece that measures, oh, it is right, 3/8, I think. No, that's too small. Y'all, I went wrong somewhere in this. All right. Yeah, I'm supposed to have 3/8. And I'm talking about these little bitty pieces right here that are 3/8 by 2 3/4. But these are too small for that. So make sure that I've got, yep. So those are all right. I do need 6 of those, 4 here, 2 on this side. These are the pieces that, I know exactly what I did wrong here. These are supposed to be, these pieces are 1, bear with me here. Stuff happens. I'm a human being here. 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, that's correct. These are supposed to be smaller. So these are 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. That's why. Okay, that's all right. We're just gonna roll with it. All right. I've got a little bit here, so we will just cut just a little bit more here. So again, 2 3/4 for the height there. And then we've got 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. I will definitely try to put the measurements for this in the caption afterwards. Okay, there we go. So in essence, when you're doing that correctly, you end up with just this much left. I just cut these just a little bit too big. So this is supposed to be 1 5/8, which is here. And now we're set to go. So see, this and these would have made the right amount, but such is life. She is sleeping, honey. Believe it or not, sound asleep. I'm thankful. A little less pressure on Crafty out here. Okay, so these are our pieces. We're going to go ahead and lay these out here. And it doesn't really matter how you do it here. This one's going to be here. We can go there. And then we will put these two on the outside. All right. So our last little bit here is to do a little bit of stamping here. And let me trim down the sentiment real quick. All right. To a great guy. And by the way, this is Nature's Symphony. I don't think I said that. I know that it's on back order right now, but it's due back very shortly. So it is a great set, especially love, love, love the paper. All right. Here we go. So I use this die here, and what it does is it just cuts out and leaves a little design, which I loved. So I did that opposite there. All right. And we will go ahead and use that Lost Lagoon here. And let me grab just a little scratch piece here so I can stamp off. Putting that like so. And then I am going to take the old olive here, and I have a little leaf. And stamp off again. And I just wanted to just mute these ever so slightly. So that's why I stamped off. All right. Go ahead and adhere. So, and then we'll do the front. And I'll show you how to fold it. That's the fun part. And you could mat this, you know, like figure it out and mat it. I just wanted to do it a little bit simpler here. And just go straight to that back cardstock. And I really think guys will find this fold fascinating because it's going to be fun and easy to play with. All right. Yep, that's exactly what happened. I had written down the wrong measurement for this piece. Happens. Hey Jane, how are you? All right. Keep going here with adhering these down. Now with that little die cut out, I just don't want to hit those spots. So I'm just going along the outside there and the middle. It's so funny. From the sides, you can just hardly tell if these things are going down straight. You're just hoping you do your best here. Ooh. And drop it like I did there. I do like it on the old olive coney. Good choice. All right. It's going to be fun here in a few seconds to put this. Thank you, liquid glue. Give me a chance to move that around. Okay, this is the front of the card. So I'm going to flip this over and go ahead and put these pieces on the front. What will be the front? And then we'll go over them again. Very nice. Very nice. Quiet evenings are lovely. Okay, we're going to flip that back to this side here. Okay, I have some old olive leaves here. Just go ahead and adhere these down. Just a couple dots here and there will do. I like that this bundle goes for both masculine and feminine. Very gender neutral set here. All right. We are only going to do this on the one side here. 2 dimensionals, tight, close together there. And actually, we'll hold off putting that on here for just 1 second. Let's fold, okay? So, take it, fold it in half. Get out your bone folder. All right. We are going to do this first fold backwards towards you. We're going to flip that over. We're going to do the next fold back towards you as well. If you didn't cut it all the way, just use your scissors, okay? So we've got that. Now this fold here is going to come out. All right. So now we've got our card going here. And then when you fold it to mail it, which it's kind of thick, just so you know, just because you've got so many folds, but it does fit in an envelope, no problem. And we're going to put the rest of this on here real quick. And then we'll look at the mechanics again one more time. I just tried to center this best I could on the left there. Gave that down. And then I have the embellishments over here that go to this suite. The faux bronze pentagons. Save that. you know, 5 times really fast. Not happening. All right. These things, I will forewarn you, are heavy. So you would definitely need some extra postage. Maybe a hand cancel even because of the thickness. And we'll put this other one down here. You know, there we go. All right, so let's just take a look at these again. Oh, we should do the envelope real quick too. So I just did the flap, and for that, I just used the other side, which measures, of course, 6 inches. And when I do the flap, I do 2 1/4. At least I hope that's what I do. Correctly. Yep. All right. So let's put that down. And then we will talk about those. Envelope flapping decorating is the easiest way to do this. And we're just going to turn that over and trim it up. So technically, yes, if you were doing the envelope like this, you need more than a 6 by 6. But the card just takes that 6 by 6. All right, so here's our 2 versions. We have the old olive version, and we have the secret C version there. And again, the mechanics, super fun. You could fold this a lot of different ways, but I think it's nice. Oops, I definitely don't want to fold that. To see something when they pull it out and not just see the back. So, and I like having a little thing here pop off. And they do stand very nicely, like so. So she woke up for 2 seconds, but she's back to sleep. All right. So again, 5.5 by 8.5. Thanks, Coney. 5.5 inch side, you're going to score lightly at 1 1/4 and 4 1/4. On the 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at 4.5, normal scoring. In between those 2 light score lines, you are going to score from at 1 3/4 and 2 1/4. You're going to flip it and do 1 3/4 and 2 1/4 from the outside again. Then you're going to come and slice it. So you're going to cut, skip, cut, skip, cut. Thank you, Lisa. So, and these other measurements here, 6 at 1 inch by 4, and then 2 at, this is where I messed up. So I'm going to tell you. So it's 2 3/4 by 1 5/8, and then 2 at 3/8, which are these little bitties, by 2 3/4, and then your inside panels are 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. So these outside pieces are slightly smaller. That's what just, I wrote down the same and it's not. So anyways, There you go. Crafty hour for this evening. Yay! I'm going to post these. I'll post tomorrow with a link to the replay. I really appreciate you tuning in and watching. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And I'll see you next week for episode 133. So until then, take care, be well. Bye. Thanks.